Hello, Raptors, and welcome back to the letter. Welcome back, guys. Sorry for uploading the videos really slow. I know that because I've been uploading a lot of videos recently, like the Doki Doki, the letter, and Assassin's Creed. But the thing is, my internet is really slow, so that doesn't help at all. But I'm waiting for better internet to come up as soon as possible. That should be done in a couple of days, hopefully. So yeah, thank you all for bearing with me till this time. That being said, let's get into the game. Fortunately, I'm much more refreshed as I took a break from my responsibilities. I haven't the faintest clue where Luke was yesterday. Okay, today's gonna be a busy day, unlike Wednesday, the master of the house isn't here right now, absent once again from his duties. Hopefully he'll be back in time for the party. Party! This is our house after all. I wouldn't say it's your house, per se. A grand housewarming party for the wonderful Wright mansion. Every person of importance from Luxembourg is invited, and there'll be a few guests flying in. Room for all. Of course, there'll be some people from the media, along with friends and acquaintances, who are made no less important regardless of their status in society. Marianne and I discussed business the last moment and touches to the house before finalizing everything. Not that there's much change from our original plans. What original plans, I want to know. Okay, bare any huge additions to the property itself, the mansion is really 100% complete. 100% full of debt, that's what you mean.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
You gotta have a short time. Everyone here is gonna have a short time. Just saying.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion.
Sure, I see what you did there with the Wright mansion thingy. Alright then.
There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
The second bedroom? Luke and I had a small tiff about making the second bedroom into a child's playroom, which I insisted is completely practical. In the end, he's had to acquiesce. I didn't give him any choice in the matter. Acquiesce. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna look it up later. I even bought the wonderful wooden crib from the antique store yesterday, including some toys. Just in case someone brings their baby. Of course. Yeah, someone's definitely gonna bring their babies into a haunted mansion like this to get flipping cursed. Sure. Crib for a baby, she says. Besides, we have a little need for actual guest rooms. We hardly have guests who spend the night. If we absolutely have to, we often choose to foot the bill for their visit on one of our hotel instead. Always at Luke's own insistence. And on the off chance that we actually let someone stay, the bedroom in the opposite wing is still up to the task. As long as it has nothing to do with the attic, everything should be fine. No, nothing is ever fine in this mansion. No. Why did I even say that?
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned.
See?
I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
Okay. No, I did not agree to him having a helipad.
All right, then. Well, do we have any other concerns? Anything we need to put on our agenda before the party commences?
Exorcism.
No, I don't think so.
That's what you
Not
need.
unless Luke has anything else to say.
Is he around then? It'd be best if we can note down his request right away, considering the scope of his usual ones.
Hey, mind your tone, woman. Around? No. Where is he? Who knows where? I don't.
No, he's not around.
She didn't have to point out the obvious now, did she? After 7 long years, I'd already gotten used to him. I should be by now. Still not, apparently.
But don't you have a party?
Don't you have somewhere else to be? I want nothing more than that to complain to whinge about how unfair this is. However, airing out one's dirty laundry is simply taboo amongst high society. To do so will make you a ripe target for the next dinner party chit-chat. Vultures, a lot of them, really. Or most of them, at least. They're always good ones like Rochelle, Lee, or Zachary. but put your trust in the wrong person and you'll find yourself eagerly picked apart.
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see.
Where did that come from? Out of nowhere. That's where it
That
came from.
friend he's visiting. He's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
You don't even know where he is. Well, stop making up things, Hannah. I like you I like you a little bit, but don't make things. Don't say things you don't know. That's what I'm saying. Perhaps I'm being a bit too harsh, a bit too hot-headed in divulging details. But I thought to myself, clever with the plan to dress it up as a gossip. Mary Ann's raised brow make me unsure whether she is interested or not. She's never interested. She's just a grumpy old house decorator. That's what she is. Although that doesn't make things better if she has no interest, indeed, therefore, has no hidden intent to utilize what I might say to her.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit how do they say it? A rough patch.
How do you know about that, Hannah? I'm seriously saying don't make things up you don't know. Woman, you're gonna get yourself in trouble.
His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband.
She's talking about herself, I think.
But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark.
Sure. And you want some other romantic spark. Also known as Zach. But also known as Zachary.
What do you think?
What do I think of the matter, ma'am?
Duh.
No, what do you think of my hair? It feels so lifeless and dull today, and that's no good for a party.
How did it turn up from hair to the... Maybe she's being sarcastic.
And I think I'm breaking out into zits.
Now
Ew.
that you mention it, there is something different.
Wait a...
There better not be something on my face.
I wouldn't worry about that.
There was something on your neck in the previous episode if you guys watched that.
You do look a little paler than usual, ma'am.
Sure.
I apologize if I'm crossing any lines here, but have you been resting properly?
I have. Ish.
You'd think I get a bit tanned with how sunny it's been lately. Don't you worry. I feel right as rain and never better.
Okay then.
But back to the matter at hand.
You were asking for my personal opinion on the matter, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Do you want me to be honest, or...
No, just get the fuck out of my house. Of course, be honest. Jesus Christ, what? I don't know. Be honest with me. I want the hard truth and nothing but the truth. I'm gonna go for be honest with me.
Be honest with me, Marianne. I don't need someone to sugarcoat it. I'm not some fragile thing that I'm just going to break down at the slightest thing.
I wouldn't be so sure. She hesitates, taking a sip of her coffee while I stare into my own cup of tea. The silence stretches on and I almost believe that she will never answer my question. I suppose that I should blame her putting her in a tight spot like this. Her hesitation is understandable, though I loathe to admit it. She simply wants this whole thing to stay professional. But then she speaks.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
What made you think that now, huh? It's my turn to hesitate now. I really didn't expect such a straightforward question. And how to get to the heart of the matter. I suppose I'm not as clever as I'd like to think. Or is it really that bad that an outsider can see our little marital troubles? Surely we aren't that obvious, are we? Are we? Yes, you are. We put up the act of perfect couple for a year, although it hadn't always been an act. Marianne is just more keen than the average person, of course. It is a necessity to her career, and she's been working so closely with us. Yes, that's it.
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Yeah.
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle.
Why did you even ask that at first? Oh my god, Marianne, you little...
But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else.
Okay, that came out pretty well. I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought she would definitely be professional or something like that, but hey.
Someone who won't even give him the time of the day. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone.
Sure, take your own personal space and come back. Away from the mansion, of course.
That's just my 2 pence worth, of course.
So you're saying we...
Yeah, you should.
Nothing as drastic as that.
Ah, come on.
If they're afraid that it might lead to just that, then maybe that is what's meant to happen in the first place.
But they've been married for 7 years.
We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
That's true too.
But it's just a short hiatus is all. Or, couples therapy?
Sure, that's gonna help.
Look, I'm really not the best person to ask about relationships. So grain of salt and all that.
So grain and salt of all that, but where do you come up with this stuff? She trails off, having said her piece, and leaves nothing but a smell of coffee and Earl Grey between us. There's a calm despite the nature of what has been discussed. Just been discussed. To say that her words make me start to think it's an understatement. To say that I'm not considering her advice is a lie. And to say that this might just be the calm before the storm is a possibility. That's what I've been saying throughout the entirety of this episode right now. The calm before the storm. There you go, guys. There you go. Others have had short marriages, yes, but plenty have celebrated long and happy ones as well. My one parent celebrated their choral anniversary before they passed away. But 7 years? 7 years isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. It isn't a whole lot of time to see what and where our relationship can bring us. And at the same time, 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. Well, it hasn't been entirely made up of unhappy years, has it? It won't last forever. It's not supposed to, anyway. If you make it last forever, it does last forever. That's all I'm saying. I just dread the thought that it might last for a very long time. The thought that this small spats, this little disarrangements will turn into an all-out resentment. The idea that we will grow to hate each other with every fiber of our being scares me. Is that the only thing that scares you, Panda? Seriously? What about these spooky nightmares you've been having, which are not basically nightmares but actual real things happening? And who am I to question it? I can't even pinpoint the exact moment when our blissful union turned sour. Sorry, updated. When did we start to seek other women lacking any ulterior motives? When did we start to cooperate only to suit our materialistic greed and attention-seeking ways? Money and success? Fame and glamour? And those are the only reasons we still stay together? Are they? That's a real good question though. There's a call before Marianne clears her throat. I must have been quiet for so long, and I have to apologize when she stands up. We both end up on our feet, unsure on how to proceed. Some sort of odd, awkward shuffle occurs as we decide whether to sit back down or not. Much like those awkward handshakes when you give on live televisions, like... I almost hit my microphone. Anyways.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
Sure, you should do that.
You won't be attending the party?
You won't be attending the party?
Oh, you really must, Marianne.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies.
Why not? Where do you have to go? I mean, seriously.
Busy.
Sure.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you.
Yeah, you might actually get a business deal or something like that.
You need to say hello to the Lees, at least.
Lees? Bruce Lees?
If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
It was a terrible joke.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Sure.
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
Yeah, there's problem with posh people, I believe. The scene outside the parlor is a great, organized mess. Aside from our own household help, we hired the service of a temporary agency which provides staff for Wright Enterprise in the hospitality sector. Even our skilled staff cannot undertake a party of this size on their own. We hear busboys, hostesses, and other staff captains move about in droves, carrying crockery and serveware goods of several dozen people and then some. Chefs and bartenders tell after Johannes, I believe that's how he spells his name, looking like scared little children as he escorts them throughout the kitchen and into the wine cellar to pursue the stocks to select what can be served at the party and what can be used for cooking.
Schnell! We have a lot to do, and I believe we did not hire snails.
Whoa.
Snails are for the dishes.
Damn. A string quartet readies up to play for the evening, tuning the instruments as they fill the air with idle chatter. Flower decor worth 1,000 filled vases, wreaths and baskets, while petals are scattered along the driveway up front. That's a pretty decent cake, which is making me hungry right now. I hope it was cupcakes. An ice sculpture of a reindeer is bought in carefully by a pair. It's followed by a simple cake, just 5-tier with chiffon bun with white chocolate mousse, fresh berries, and light dusting of edible gold leaf. Gold leaf? What is that? Despite the fact that I told Marianne how I will attend to all of this, I find myself unable to focus or care for any of it. I still have our discussion running in our mind, and looking at all of this, I only see Luke everywhere. These are all grand things that Luke wanted to have for the party. I had wanted a small, elegant, and simple gathering with only a few invited, like Zachary, namely the people who I would actually trust to enter my home. I didn't want any bloody politicians or paparazzis in here. Paparazzis? No matter how used I am to catering them.
At least be here for your party. Damn it, Luke.
The entire thing screamed Luke Wright. And I can't help but add another question to my growing list of queries. When did I lose myself? It's always about him nowadays, isn't it? What about Hannah Wright? What about Hannah Evans? I used to be my own woman who made her own name, her own career, and her own decisions. Sure, I was already the social butterfly that I still am today, but it wasn't always empty, shallow gossip and sitting pretty. I was also lauded for my knowledge and talent. Fiance manager wasn't... Fiance manager. Great. Finance manager wasn't just handed to me just because my father owned the company. I had insisted that I start at the bottom so I could work my way to the top and prove myself. And I did. I worked numbers, managed budgets, money and accounts, analyzing the competitions and market trends. There were calculations of financial risk, cost reduction opportunities, auditor liaisons, and public relations supervisions of staff, and blah. Well, I generally had a huge slew of responsibilities. Admittedly, I was already quite the attention seeker even back then, having decided most of my youth craving for my parents' approval. Failing that, I turned to others, looked for praise from anyone who would give it, however fleeting it all was. And Luke, the way he looked at me, the way he watched me and took a genuine interest. He had been disgustingly obsessed since day one, hadn't he? He saw me for me, Hannah Evans, with both my faults and my achievements. The man didn't treat me like some damsel in distress or some prize to be won. I remember the nights before we were married, where we talked about everything and anything, from big things like business, society, and philosophy, to little things such as what we had for breakfast or whether we had like cats or dogs more. We both prefer dogs. I prefer dogs as well. Why you Raptors prefer dogs or cats? I prefer dogs. Well, I don't hate cats, but I prefer dogs more. Nowadays, I'm just Luke Wright's wife. It's mostly my fault, isn't it? They told me that husbands preferred wives who are docile and subordinate. A woman who will always be there I saw the shadow creeping. I saw the shadow. I swear I did. A woman who will always be there for him, yet would never outshine him in all aspects except beauty. A wife needs to be at home and attend to his needs, to have children and to take care of them in his absence. They said I have no business working anymore after I was married. I can blame society, but I listened. Before I could fall further into introspective pit of self-loathing, something calls for my attention.
The guests have arrived, madam.
The guest.
And Luke?
Oh, yeah.
Running a bit late, I'm afraid.
Late for his own party. That man, I swear. He's probably looking to make a dramatic entrance, knowing him.
Desk.
Open the doors then. We mustn't tarry.
It wasn't Tara. Cars line up the driveway, prepping the front of the mansion with vehicles of every kind. Grand tourist supercars, even the odd high-end musical car or two, convertibles, grand saloons, and other luxury cars can be seen being parked by valets. A handful of cabs drive off, possibly for those who thought it would be troublesome to bring their own cars. There are at least 2 different media events as well. They're all here for what may have considered biggest event of the year of the Luxembourgs. So far. Who knows what we'll plan for the winter holidays?
Welcome everyone. Please make yourselves at home.
Sure. Some of the guests idle, enjoying the warm, if not straight sunshine we're experiencing before gloomy skies inevitably returned. The great acquaintances and friends with warm smiles, otherwise too. From where I stand, I can see the hierarchy of power that ties the binds that these individuals here, whether through convenience or necessity. However, there are also few who are not here to further cement their current place in the high society. Oh, there he is. What was his name again? I really forgot the name of the characters. It's been so long. Such as the young man with oriental hair, ignorant of the looks he received from women and men alike.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
I forgot his name. Oh, I forgot their names, guys. Or the rose-haired woman talking on her phone while she looks unsure of why she is here exactly.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom. Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can.
Zachary! I see Zachary, the photographer, as well. He talks to a few of the other media crew with the air of familiarity.
I was just here a few days ago, yeah.
Yeah.
And the inside is huge, but the staff are pretty helpful if you get lost.
Sure. And then, there are people like Chief Inspector, people who can never be too sure about. People who stand on the bar between being suspicious and being trustworthy.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see?
Shut up, Officer Lee.
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again?
She told me she'll just be in the gardens.
The gardens?
Bet she's lying and that she's somewhere around mingling, gossiping with the other ladies.
Well, that's what women do. I mean, I'm not saying that women's gossip, not all of you gossip, but that's what most of us do.
Fence, but that seems to be all you ladies do at these parties.
And aren't you gossiping right now?
Exactly, so this is what I meant. Men gossip too.
Yes, well, what about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
Ha ha ha, very funny.
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing. Don't tell me, let me guess. He's finally drunken himself to death and not wanting a scandal, you've hidden his body.
Sure.
I was wanting to give this housewarming gift to him personally, too.
Okay, you would like that, wouldn't you, Officer Lee?
It's a plate that holds a wine glass so he can stop killing himself with liquid lunches. Looks like it's too late for that.
Alright guys, that's all the time I have for this episode. It's been more than 20 minutes or something, I guess, so that's gonna take a lot of time. I need to do a lot of editing with that. But yeah, thank you guys for all the love and support. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Peace.
Legends never die.